my first video for my Banshee project. First thing I do when I pick up a bike is what I call the assessing phase. And essentially what you're doing here, you're going over the bike and you're basically deciding what you're going to do with it. Whether or not you're going to keep it, whether you plan to resell it, make some money, or if you made a mistake, try to sell it and get out of it without losing any money, or if it's in such bad shape that you're going to part it out. So really what I do here, it's pretty simple. Throw the bike up on some stands. Simply enough, you just go over the bike. There's a number of points I like to hit. Check all the bearings in the A-arms, your bushings, your ball joints in your heims, checking the bearings in your front hubs, checking your carrier bearings, your swing arm bearings. If you have any bent parts that are really out of shape, things you can't get away with, tie rod ends, things like that, bushings in your steering, things that really turn people away when they're coming to look at a quad or a dirt bike, whatever it may be. So yeah, you're just kind of looking over the bike, seeing what it needs, and then what I like to do is I take a notebook, I'll write down all the parts, and I'll have two lists. I'll have my needs and my wants, and essentially the needs are the things that the bike needs so that I can resell it and be confident that it's not a piece of shit. And then the wants are going to be things that would really make it a lot nicer. Some of the stuff might be, I have anodized levers, things like that. Things that might just make the bike pop a little bit, set it apart from other bikes. Sometimes you can get a good return investment on stuff like that, but if it's not needed, I might not get that for the bike, especially if it's going to be over budget, has a little bit more issues than I thought when I purchased it. That's pretty much what I do in this phase, and then once I have my two lists, I'll price everything out, see what it would be just for the wants, and then I'll calculate what I think the bike is going to be worth when it's done. And if I still have a large enough margin there, we'll start to hit some of the needs, or not the needs, the wants. And at that point, you might spend a couple of $100 in just those wants to make the bike, like I said, stand out from other bikes that are for sale. If I decide to keep it, which in this scenario, for this bike, this is probably going to be a bike I'm going to keep. Of course, I always say I'm going to keep my bikes, and then I wind up, falling in love with a different model and selling what I have and going for that. But anyways, in this case, I'm going to try to keep it under $500 in terms of parts putting into the bike, not as a total build. I paid $1,500 for the bike, so we're looking at a $2,000 quad when it's all said and done. Should be in really nice shape, and I have a couple things on there that it really doesn't need, just to make it really nice. If that's the case, I'll be really happy with that. So I got this Banshee up on stands. Basically what I'm planning to do, I ran around the quad. It looks like it needs bushings and bearings pretty much on every corner. Those are pretty inexpensive fixes. On top of that, there's going to be a lot of just busy work and labor tied up into this bike because somebody spray painted it, so I'm going to have to strip a lot of paint, do some painting myself. I might send some parts out to get powder coated. Depends how in depth this gets. If I really like the bike, if the motor turns out to be not an issue and ready to rock and roll, once I clean the carbs and everything, make sure it runs and all. In that case, I might actually pull the motor and get the frame powder coated, get the A-arms powder coated, swing arm powder coated, and if I can make the plastics look good, we'll keep them. Otherwise, I might get some new plastics for it. And in that case, it's not going to be a $500 project. It's going to turn into a pretty expensive project, but it's going to be a badass bike, something I'll be proud to own. So that's the plans for the 89 Banshee. Stay tuned. I'm going to try every week on my day off to knock another portion of the job out, make a new video for you guys. Hopefully it won't be boring shit like this video. We'll try to throw some funny shit in there too. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Stay tuned.